Hi, and welcome to a session on behaviours and anxiety disorders. Why are they problematic? So, the typical behaviours we'll be asking about and thinking about are four. That's avoidance, safety seeking behaviours, reassurance behaviours, and escape behaviours. And why are these behaviours problematic? Why do they maintain the disorder? So, from a cognitive therapy perspective, the stopping the person learning that the feared behaviour is either not likely to occur or can be coped with at some level. So that's problematic. Now, the other problem with the behaviours if you think about avoidance behaviours, then they're having a big impact on their life. So if someone's socially anxious or a phobia, then they're not engaging in things that could make their life more fulfilling. So that's a problem in that sense. Safety behaviours, likewise, can be problematic because they're kind of contaminating the interaction. So if a person has social anxiety and they are not speaking in that situation, or maybe talking too much, or asking too many questions, or deferring to another person, then there is a possibility that the people in that group will think something less of them, will think less of them because they're engaging in those behaviours. It might not happen, but there's an increased risk of that. So they kind of contaminate the situation. Um, it also requires a lot of planning to do these behaviours. So the person becomes more focused on doing the planning to do the safety behaviours to make sure there's no risk of the feared event occurring than they do in actually just enjoying and naturally interacting with the situation. So again with social phobia, the focus is doing the safety behaviour and thinking about it and planning it, and that gets in the way. So what else about it? If in the example that Salkowskis gives in agoraphobia, it's a good one, how the person stops learning by a safety behaviour. So if you're in a supermarket and you feel panicky and you think you're going to collapse and you're holding on to the trolley or sitting down, there's a risk that you're telling yourself that you only didn't collapse or go mad or lose control because you sat down and got a grip of yourself rather than the fact it wasn't going to happen anyway. So that's safety behaviours are problematic for different reasons. Now, in terms of assessing them, we want to ask about the behaviours and get a good amount of detail. We can ask about them in the vicious circle, and we can generalise them and ask about them more general. For example, when you were in that vicious circle, when you were in that situation, what did you do to make yourself feel safer? Or what did you avoid doing to feel safer or to reassure yourself? There's a number of ways you could ask it. And try and ask it as an open question, first of all. So, what did you avoid in that situation? What did you do to reassure yourself? And then narrow that down. So the person might say, avoid ever going to any social events. So you narrow that down. So you say, would you not go to any social events at all? If you say, I might go to some, tell me about the ones that you would avoid in a bit more detail as opposed to the ones that you would go to. The next important thing to do is once you've got a really good understanding of all the avoidant, the safety behaviours, reassurance, escape behaviours, is try and understand exactly why they're doing it. So a good question is, and why did you want to avoid that situation? Or what was going through your mind in that situation? Or if you had gone into that situation, what worry or negative thought would have come up for you? Likewise, a safety behaviour. A good way is reversing it. So if you didn't hold on to the trolley in the supermarket, what would you have been worried about? So that often elicits this specific anxiety. So we want to understand the behaviours in detail by asking the patient some good questions about it. We want to understand the function of them, and we want to be comprehensive because we only focus a lot on that in therapy of our anxiety disorders. So I hope that's helpful, and au revoir.